But honestly, when you look at Liberty's guards, they're quick, but are they quick when you compare them? First of all, FAU, they were overmatched completely, which is fine. Again, no shame. But you still go from here to a step or two down at Charleston. They still looked a little bit overwhelmed physically and athletically. Because, again, you're talking about two guys that are what?
5'9", 5'10". I think it said more about how good this Charleston team is and how good they can be, and how difficult it is when you turn over an entire roster to be able to get them playing the level that you want them to be at this early. And that's kind of the tough thing if you are a mid-major, right? When you are a high major, like a Purdue, like a Kansas, like a UConn, when you're one of these elite teams in college basketball, and it takes you a little while to figure some things out,
sure,
it doesn't matter because Purdue can go out and build up their resume when they are in league play. A team like Indiana, right, it takes them a while to figure it out. Maybe they turn it on league play. They're still going to get enough good wins, right?
Well, they're winning, and again, those teams, Indiana, as poorly as they played, and we'll talk about this, they're playing bye games. And even if they play their like C or D.
But my point is that when you are the team that is able to afford to pay for the bye games, then you can afford to struggle a little bit because, one, you're going to have more talent, and two, you are going to be able to make up those wins when you get to league play. Whereas a team like Charleston, a team like Liberty, you're not going to be able to make it up. So you got to front load your schedule, and when you don't have the kind of continuity that you normally would expect, it makes it a little bit more difficult. We got into all of that and a lot more with Charleston head coach Pat Kelsey, who actually we had Chris Mack here for the pregame show or for this interview. Pat and Mack have known each other for a long time. I'm going to have to start calling Chris Mack Mackey from now on.
Yeah,
are you in on that? Mackey?
That's what Kelsey calls him.
I don't know if we can pull it off, but our interview with Charleston head coach Pat Kelsey right now here on the Field of 68 After Dark. Now let me welcome onto the Field of 68 After Dark Pat Kelsey, Charleston head coach, fresh off of a 76-67 win over Liberty in the second game of the Field of 68 tip-off. Kels, you guys lost 3 in a row in Myrtle Beach, turnaround. You won at Coastal Carolina, won at Kent State, and now you picked up a win over a good Liberty team here. What's changed? How do you turn this thing around?
You know, the 2 of the games that we lost out of those 3, we're right there. I mean, we're up with, I think Vermont, we're up with a minute and a half to play. We play Wyoming. We're up 7 with, 4 or 5, and we just didn't play well at winning time, right? We didn't make winning plays. We gave up free throw blockout mistakes. We just didn't finish games, and what we've been doing here lately is playing our best at what Mac used to call winning time, right? The last 2 wars, the last 8 minutes of the game, and when those guys run in the huddle, it's kind of corny, like in college football, they talk about fourth quarter. We talk about winning time, and our guys have done a good job these last couple games.
I mean, it's a completely different team. I don't think people realize that, how much you lost from last year's team. And it was such a special group.
Yeah.
The personalities.
Yeah.
What do you miss most from that group that you've got to figure out how to replace and kind of get going here?
Well, those guys, the 4 guys that graduated, Ryan Larson, Jalen Scott, Pat Robinson, and Dalton Bolin, they would walk in a gym, and they didn't care if we were playing the Los Angeles freaking Lakers. They thought they were going to win. And Dalton Bolin, Dalton, he's freaking crazy.
Crazy.
Like he walked up
like hitting people before the game.
He walked to Armando Baycott at the North Carolina game. He goes, "You aren't even on our freaking scouting report."
Is that what he said?
And Baycott's like,
he really
that's how
said
he
that
is.
to him.
He's nuts. How nuts was Dalton?
Nuts.
I mean, he would just walk in
Imagine
and bark.
that,
And Mackie knows how I am and how we were raised. Like, the barking and the talking, it's not my deal. But I had to let Dalton be Dalton, and that got him going. And so those guys
kind of got everybody else going a little bit, didn't it?
Ryan Larson, they were just nasty winning dudes. And it's hard because I don't want these guys to think you're not good enough. You're not them.
Right.
So we never really even talk about last year's team. Our one goal going into the year was not go 31-4 again, not go back to the NCAA tournament. It was to improve our culture. And that was really, really, really a big goal because our culture was sick last year. So all we talk about is excellence in the process and all that stuff. And these guys are climbing toward that, and I'm really proud of them.
are you looking at me for?
He's busy. Look at him. He's so locked into the Xavier game. Are you going to ask Kelsey a question?
Can I say this, though?
I mean,
this is surreal right now. Surreal.
Not just for you.
Because,
not just for you.
We've known each other since I was in grade school and he was in high school. I don't get in this business without Chris Mack because Dino, Jeff, they all wanted to hire somebody else. Mackey fought for me, helped me get the job as DBO, took me under his wing, taught me how to organize.
I can't believe you're
stuff.
okay. If he took you under his wing, you somehow made it out.
I know you guys want like wild, stuff.
Sorry.
Me say crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't tell him enough the impact he had on me. And when I worked for him, so much of the stuff we do and how we scout, how we prepare, all that stuff is a lot for Mackey. So
All right, now it's time to rip on Mackey. That was nice.
Well, the story about how we met is he showed up in my backyard and we had the best backboard in Finneytown. All these dudes came over and hooped, and Mackey was the #1 player in Cincinnati. I was an 8th grader, and I want to fight everybody. That's just how I am. And Chris goes up and like dunks on my rim and like pulls himself up. So I walk out and I'm like, "Who the you think you are?" And like and so that's how it started. And
there was no fight. No fight?
There was no fight. I mean, he was 6'6", and I was 5'0". Kicked my ass.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
What do you remember about that one?
I remember everything he talked about, but I also remember him telling me to get out of there. And so, he kicked me out. 8th grader told me to get off his lawn.
What'd you do? You ran away?
I got off his lawn, You
were so soft.
Yeah, You got to listen, man. He's a homeowner, or at least the son of a homeowner.
What do you remember from Kels? Because the one thing – I remember last year when I was there, walking out of practice and, again, calling you and being like, this dude's intensity is at a different level of anybody I've ever seen, ever. And, again, I hadn't been around Kels for a while, and as an assistant it's different. It's a little bit different back when you were assistant at Wake. And I said, is that always Kels? And you're like,
yeah.
Yep. Always.
Kels coaches like he played. And maybe nobody can remember back when we played, but, Kels was 100 miles an hour. He's the hardest worker, and nothing really changed when he got into college coaching. He just whatever his position was, whether it was director of operations, whether it was an assistant coach, he didn't necessarily have his eye on the next step in life or the next step in his career. He just went 1,000,000 miles an hour where he was at and let the chips fall where they may. He is the hardest worker I've ever been around. And, players love to play for guys that they know are putting in the time, preparing them, and will do anything for them, and that's Pat.
So you guys are being way too nice to each other right now on the show. This is a little, you're
uncomfortable?
A little uncomfortable right now. So I got to ask you this question. We were down at SoCon Media Day. Western Carolina's head coach is Justin Gray. Yeah. And Justin Gray told us, was it on the show or was it after? I can't remember.
Right after.
I think it was after the show. I don't think it was on the show. Yeah. But he told us that
we busted them up
every day in practice afterwards.
we went to work.
Everyone knows who Chris Paul is. Justin Gray, who was like a 1,500-point scorer,
first team All ACC,
All ACC player at Wake Forest, would play you guys 2-on-2. But that's not the story that we heard.
Yeah. That's because he was telling it. And we were younger then. We were younger.
Give me the clip notes. What did he say happened? Because
Daddy busted your ass.
I'm going to tell you what, they were wars, though. Like, it wasn't, hey, coaching players playing together. Luckily, the doors were locked. Social media wasn't a thing. Because
we would have put it on social media if we got to win. If we got to win.
So
they were wars.
One of Chris's scouts, when I was DBO, he was an assistant, was NC State. Right, so Mackey and I poured into the Princeton system. We wanted to master it. So we watched tape. We did that. We taught the scout team hours and hours and hours and hours. And then we would go out and freaking dime people with back doors, and our thing was got his ass. Every time we get him on a back door, that was our thing. Got his ass.
Yeah,
those were good times.
Hey, I heard Mac kind of got you with the Pete Rose card years ago.
That was a great one. So we're both Cincinnati born and raised. Pete Rose from the west side of Cincinnati, where my mom grew up, my grandpa, all that. He delivered milk to Pete Rose when Pete Rose was a kid. And I have this painting of Pete Rose up in my office. And, Pete slowly but surely just continued to deteriorate and become a national embarrassment. Yeah. Well, I take pride in that painting. That head first slide is what I'm about. So Chris makes a fake memo from Ron Wellman, the AD at the time. Yeah. I think he even had Ron sign it. He was in on the joke. And it puts it on my desk, and I walk in, and I'm like,
It basically said that he had to remove the picture from his office immediately because of Pete's history in gambling, and we just don't stand for that. And Pat lost his mind. I think he might have gone into Coach Prosser's office and said, "I will resign if I can't keep this." And Coach is like, "Oh, I think somebody's having fun with you, Kels. Relax."
Skip, man. Skip was fun, wasn't he?
Oh man,
the sarcasm of Skip Prosser.
Yeah,
the stories.
The best.
So, all right, you got. We're letting you enjoy this for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, really.
And then when you go back in the locker room, you got to think about FAU. And oh my God, Kels, like I don't want to give you a sleepless night, but I saw them last night, and I came away saying, and I've seen Arizona and Duke, and Kentucky and Kansas, and Michigan State, and all the really good teams so far in person this year. I think they're the best team I've seen.
Makes me feel great. So just build me up a little bit here. What's that old commercial? I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express later.
They're just, man, you talk about culture, and we've seen it now. We've been around them here for the last day or so. Their culture is so strong. They are so unselfish. Max said it last night, like John L. Davis has 2 points last night at the end of the game.
Yeah.
First of all, he's passing up shots. He's not trying to get his number. Second of all, he comes over post-game, and this dude is cracking up, laughing.
How about that?
2 points. Like, culture, right? Like, we talk about it, but you lived it. I saw you live it last year. This program lives it, too. What do you have to do?
I think I'm going to have Dalton Bowling get a hold of him and be like, man, you can get more shots, bro.
That's right.
I'm going to enjoy this for about another 12 minutes until I get on the bus and open up the laptop and get after it.
How much sleep
my dad used to say,
will you get tonight, you think?
I don't sleep much anyway.
What do you think you
Even
get?
as I get older, I sleep less and less. I mean, on a normal night, I go to bed pretty early. I probably go to bed at 9:45, 10 o'clock, but I get up at 4 now.
Oh, that sounds
I don't know
awful.
why. I just get up at 4, and I get more done in the morning and all that stuff. So anyway, my dad used to say growing up, they put their pants on the same way we do and all that. I mean,
you
put
40
minutes on
what
the
color
clock.
is this? What color are your pants? What is
That's
this?
maroon.
Maroon?
That's our city, Charleston Maroon.
That's...
So, I know they're a great team. We're going to fight. I can tell you that. We're going to compete because we always do. Yeah. And it's fun. It's a great opportunity. I'm excited about it.
I need some honesty from you here, Kels. When you have to deal with that 7-week stretch where
I haven't told him it's 7.
You can't, it's
I
7
haven't
weeks
broken it to him that it's 7.
Where you can't get rid of him. I know you got to be nice and play nice because he's Jeff Goodman. He's got this ego, and if you piss him off, he'll come for you.
It was great last year because we were rolling. We had won 25
met for coffee
in
the
all that,
morning.
and I was in a great mood. Have you guys been to Charleston?
Yeah, I've been. Long time ago for me.
It's an unbelievable. I mean, it's Boca. Oh
Next year for the Field of 68 tip-off, we're going to be down there.
Well, we're going to be down there. I'm not sure you're going to be allowed down there.
So I live on Daniel Island, and they call it Yankee Island because everybody from the North's moving down there, and it's an awesome place.
I'll be down there next week.
I get restaurant recommendations from your wife.
How sad is that?
That's how much Lisa and I go out.
Literally, he has to text me, and I ask my wife.
Where should we go tonight?
So sad.
Hey, man.
Have you gotten out in the last year?
A little bit.
Not much.
A little bit. I do want to say what you guys have done here and put together with this Field of 68 thing. It's awesome. It's tough to schedule for us. It's tough to schedule for Liberty. It's tough to schedule, obviously, for the L.A. Lakers. I mean, Florida Atlantic. And I think this is a great thing. I mean, we get no's from everybody. We tried every Power 5 team in the country and tried to tell them we only have 30% of our scoring back, and still it's hard to schedule. And you guys doing this, I think, is great.
It's
for mid-major basketball.
It doesn't work if you're not willing to
buy in,
to go on the road and play the LA Lakers. If you're not willing to go to a neutral site and play a program like Liberty and a coach like Richie McKay. So that's
Matt Roberts said you wanted a little bit more control of the scheduling from here on out.
I'm starting to watch Florida Atlantic tape and Liberty. I'm like, what the crap are we doing? But hey, man,
you're playing with a little house money. I mean, I know you're not going to think that way, but you are because of the way they blasted Liberty and the way they played in Orlando after the Bryant loss. I mean, again, you get an opportunity like this.
Yeah, it's cool. I think we're going to go ahead and play.
I hope you're going to play. Yeah, well, you're going to – listen, you know you're going to play. You know your guys are going to play hard. Again, you're going to have to make shots, which you didn't do early when you were losing.
Yeah. And now we are. Now Liberty did a great job of limiting our attempts, but we
Benny
did that to them
Burnham,
as well.
Benny Burnham coming to
I'm gonna
play.
tell you right now, like that kid can flat stinking score.
Yes.
He can score it. Benny Buckets is his nickname.
And he gave us a few words earlier.
Yeah,
Talked
he
a little
doesn't say
bit.
much at all. Now he's actually hilarious. He's got a dry sense of humor.
What did he say?
We were cracking up. Goodman asked him if he wanted to go out on King Street, and he just goes, "If you're paying."
Oh, he's awesome. He just gets like a tattoo with a butterfly with flame on it.
Really?
And I'm like, Benny, what's that mean? He goes, just a butterfly with a flame. He's a different cat, man.
He said that. He goes,
He's awesome.
Kind of weird. I think they think I'm weird.
Yeah.
Different. Little different.
He
but.
did say that. Listen, Kels, it was great seeing you.